She is our second vice president of the Kankakee County branch of the NAACP. Kathy?
It is my honor to welcome each of you to our labor breakfast here at the 88th Illinois State Conference of Branches of the NAACP. This morning we gather not only to enjoy fellowship and a delicious meal, but also to celebrate the enduring partnership between the NAACP and the labor movement, an alliance built on the principles of fairness, equity, and justice in the workplace. Throughout our history, NAACP and labor organizations have shared a common mission to ensure that every worker, regardless of race or background, has the opportunity to earn a fair wage, work in a safe condition, and achieve economic dignity. It is this shared commitment that strengthens our communities and uplifts generations to come. Today, we are especially honored to have a very distinguished guest and labor leader, Mr. Tim Dre, President and CEO of the AFL-CIO. As our keynote speaker, under his leadership, the AFL-CIO continues to champion the rights of workers, advocate for social and economic justice, and fight tirelessly for policies that empower working families across our nation. As we listen to his insights, let us be inspired to continue building bridges between civil rights and labor, recognizing that economic justice is an essential component of racial justice. Together, we can ensure that the promise of opportunity, equality, and dignity remains within reach of all. On behalf of the Illinois State Conference and NAACP, I extend a warm welcome to everyone here this morning. Thank you for your commitment to justice, your dedication to the community, and your presence at this important gathering.
Thank you, Kathy. Mr. Patrick Young from Local 150 will bring not the greetings, but he will introduce our keynote speaker for the morning. And I also want to say that without Pat, we probably wouldn't have not gotten Tim. Pat, on you.
Thank you, Theodis. I guess I should have gotten with Kathy before she spoke because she took my thunder. Anyways, my name is Pat Young, president of the Iroquois Kankakee County Building Trades and also business representative for the International Union of Operating Engineers. I was asked to introduce our keynote speaker. Like Kathy says, is a champion for every union working individual here in the state of Illinois. And without further ado, our keynote speaker, president of the AFL-CIO and my friend, Tim Dre.
Well, thank you, Pat, and thank you, President Pace, Kathy. And I will say, I would have done this, absolutely would have done this, but you don't say no to Pat Young. Or the operator. Well, good morning. I'm very, very honored to speak before the State Council of the NAACP for many reasons, many reasons. But first of all, I'd like to start by sharing my background. This is not about me, but it's the journey. And I am humbled to be here today. And I want to tell you kind of how I got here. And growing up, I could never have imagined speaking to the Illinois State Council of the NAACP. I was born in a small town in central Illinois called Taylorville. Taylorville is a rural community, 10,000 people. In Christian County, just south of Springfield, which was, in 1908, the harbinger to start the NAACP from the Springfield race riots. So I grew up in this town, 99.9% white, made up mostly of coal miners, factory workers that worked in Decatur. And my father, actually, he grew up in a smaller town, Coal Camp, really, down the road from Taylorville. And it was a town that it wasn't by statute or by government fiat that it was a sundown town, but culturally it was a very, very sundown town. And my father served in World War II, segregated military, and he came home and went to the coal mines. Coal mines were segregated during the from 1900 to really 1970, and they were segregated because in the early 20th century, around 1900, when there was labor strife in the coal fields, the coal operators did what they still do, try to divide the workers, and they brought up black workers from the South and pitted the white miners against the black miners. So the mines remained segregated until the early 1970s, and including the coal mine where my father worked, was Peabody Coal Mine number 10. At the time, it was the largest underground coal mine in the world. So, again, in my small town, the civil rights movement of the 60s was far, far away. It was in Selma. It was in Greensboro, North Carolina. It was in Birmingham, Alabama. It was in Chicago. And I want to tell you, growing up, I heard many, many things that I want to forget today. These comments of ignorance. I was a young teenager at the time, elementary school, much like the young men that President Pay's coaches. And the word got out that Peabody Coal was going to hire black workers. And that was a conversation around all supper tables. We ate supper in Christian County. And while everybody had an opinion, and it was talk of town, what my dad told me at the dinner table, it's probably what made me want to get involved in the labor movement. He said, Timmy, it doesn't matter what a worker looks like, where they come from. They could be Italian, they could be Irish, they could be Eastern European, yes, and even black. But they all want the same thing I want. They want the wage and security to take care of their family, and a union that will do everything in its power to make sure that that happens. Those words, at the time, a teenager, but as I've grown older, I can't believe the wisdom of those words. So I went into, after high school, President Payson, I was talking earlier, you had three choices. You could get a job, go to the military, or go to college. So I had an older brother that was an overachiever. And this is another thing my dad told me. He'd point to my brother and said, you're going to college. And he'd point to me and say, you're going to the coal mine. I said, that's another story. That's a story, So anyway, so I went to the Marine Corps. And so I come out of this town that I really, truly had never been around anybody that wasn't like me. And, they sent me to Okinawa, and I worked actually for about 6 months. They put me working in the mess hall, and I worked with a young man, I'll never forget his name, Dwayne Ford. Dwayne was from Detroit, Michigan, black man. And Dwayne and I became great friends. I mean, we couldn't have been more different, but we became great friends and learned so much from him. And after I left Okinawa, I never saw him again, but I never forgot him. And to tell you the truth, I don't think he probably forgot me either. But it was just, at the time, we could be great friends on base. We could, work together and do everything, but we couldn't go out to town together. This was, mid-1970s, so things were still pretty, crazy. So I came home, I worked in the mine, and I got laid off. And I went to work at the Illinois State Senate, and I was so privileged to be able to work for Senator Emil Jones when he became Senate Minority Leader. And he was a great guy. I got a mentor to me. I was this laid off coal miner from Taylorville, Illinois, and he gave me the opportunity to thrive and to learn and to do the things that, after 1994 elections, the whole state became Republican. I saw a brother from DuPage County here. He was huge in DuPage County, but Philip was not the most open person around. But so we had a lot of fights over the one to harm people. And after I worked for Senator Jones, I became the United Food and Commercial Workers hired me, and I became the political director for them. And the United Food and Commercial Workers represents mostly workers like Jewel and Dominic, so low-wage workers that, again, only wanted to make a living. So I always kept in mind that no matter the ethnicity, the national origin, religion, we are all one people. And we just want to take care of our family with good wages, affordable health care, and secure retirement. And, I am so happy that my father had the wisdom in 1970 to tell me all workers are workers first, and that's it. Because of that, I learned, I have so many people in my life that's had such a profound impact on me. People like Emil Jones, Jesse White, Fred Redmond, the Secretary-Treasurer of the National AFL-CIO. And it pains me that as far as I have come because of my father, that today we're going backwards. In that small town, Taylorville, it's hard to even go back there. Today we have people trying to divide us. Their leaders ridicule words such as diversity, equity, and inclusion. Their followers idolize those who seek to divide us. They cheer when they scrub our history from museums. They seek to whitewash history to fit their narrative. And they pit us against each other in the political arena and the workplace. They cover their faces and put on military gear and arrest and detain and deport people based on their looks, not their value to this economy, not value to this country. This is not the America I want. I want America that is, this is not the America that I want to leave for my children. I want America that respects and dignifies not only work, but all people and who they are. So we cannot stand down. We have to stand up to the justice, dignity, and respect that we all deserve. That is why the Illinois AFL-CIO is proud, very, very proud to partner with the NAACP and the Civil Rights Movement. Our struggle is not over. In fact, we have to reinvigorate ourselves to a new struggle to ensure that every child in this country can have a fair and equal shot at the American dream. Now, Illinois has a strong labor culture, very, very strong labor culture. It is the home of the Workers' Rights Amendment, where we constitutionally ban right to work. Thank you, sir. Right to work. Right to work is nothing more than trying to divide workers in the workplace. The Workers' Rights Amendment gives freedom to all workers to choose what they want to do in the workplace. I'm proud Illinois is home to two of the greatest American presidents we've ever had, Abraham Lincoln and Barack Obama. Illinois is a great state. It is home to first-generation Latinos, Polish, Asian immigrants, and more than 1.5 million people whose ancestors left the Deep South during the Great Migration, seeking a better life. They all brought with them more than a hard work ethic. They brought the ideal that civil rights and labor rights go hand in hand. They built the Illinois labor movement. Today, the Illinois AFL-CIO is a diverse movement that fights every day for the rights of all working people. We are far from perfect. We've had our periods in our history where we did not live up to the ideals of a more just society. I'm not here to hide from those mistakes. I'm here to learn from those mistakes. I'm here to build on those mistakes and make sure they don't happen again. Working with labor activists across this great state, we advocate for policies that benefit all workers and oppose policies that reward the rich at the expense of working families. That is why I am reminded every day of what my father said. All workers, no matter who they are, want to provide for their families first and foremost. They want safe communities. They want good schools. They want to thrive in this country, and there's no reason why they should not. Our opponents have a what's in it for me attitude. They seek tax cuts on the perverse notion that if the rich get richer, money will trickle down. Well, I can tell you, since 1980, the Reagan Revolution, I can tell you, I'm still waiting for that money to trickle down. They ignore our poor, they cut needed services and help the poor. They cut crime prevention programs and then threaten to send the military into neighborhoods to restore order. This is wrong. We work hard. We work hard every day. We play by the rules. We want to get ahead, but they keep changing the rules in favor of the rich. It's a rigged system, a system where the billionaires are completely ruling with a congressional majority that is a get along, go along, and a compliant Supreme Court that legitimizes their greed. They seek to privatize government service because they say public employees have it too good. They describe social programs like SNAP and Medicaid, programs that provide the basic necessities of life, food, health care, to our most vulnerable people, has government handouts to people who are too lazy to work. And that's just, in short, they tell workers who are often struggling from paycheck to paycheck that they could be rich if they only work harder and let us cut the meager assistance we provide to the poor. We cannot allow their lives to grow. It is incumbent on all of us working together to be the shining light, the shining beacon of truth. While they peddle their lives and seek martyrdom for their mouthpieces, there are two movements standing in their way: the civil rights movement and organized labor. Solidarity among our two movements is the only way to ensure that all working people can share of the dream of America. We've been here before. Throughout our shared history, we have had to fight for every scrap of respect and dignity that we have. These attacks, they just aren't a problem for labor unions and the civil rights movement. These attacks hurt all of us, hurt everybody in this country, and threaten not only what we have gained through our heroes in both our movements, they are attacks on the very, very fabric of the nation. For 250 years, we have struggled together to live up to our nation's founding values. To us, words like all men are created equal, and we the people, in order to perform a more perfect union, are more than words on a piece of paper. They are ideals, they are dreams, and millions of people struggling every day to make a better and more just life for themselves, and more importantly, for their families. In these times, in these very, very difficult times, it is more important than ever that we join hands in solidarity to establish that we are one people with one mission, and that is one mission, and that mission A. Philip Randolph, the founder of the first all-black union sleeping porter attendant. Freedom is never granted, it is won. Justice is never given, it is exacted. Freedom and justice must be struggled for by the oppressed of all lands and races. We join the NAACP in that struggle. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the NAACP Illinois State Conference, we're going to continue to have that civil rights movement, labor movement. We're going to continue to partner and establish those relationships for those individuals in labor. Again, on behalf of the NAACP Illinois State Conference, we want to give you this token of appreciation. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Dane Simpson. I tell you what.
Yeah. You make me follow that up.
Oh, yes, sir. That's it. And Tim, believe it or not, was one of my former students here. Chris came.
That's it.
Well, there was the other guy. For me, though. Yeah, it was the other guy that was always in my office. In 2009, the NAACP of Kankakee County, we hosted the 76th, I think, state convention, which was actually the 100th year of the NAACP. And we opened that conference up with a labor breakfast, health fair, job fair, and here, our branch, as I glean the morning ordinance, I see our state senator, lifetime member of the Kankakee branch. I see all of our mayors. I see our former state rep, lifetime member, and Lisa Dooley. So we wanted to kick off the 88th state convention. You know, sometimes if it works one time, you want to try to do it again. And in 2009, and here's 2025. And so I was talking with our state convention coordinator, Ms. Willie Howard. I said, Willie, you know, I tell you what, you know, we don't have that much money, but what if we can get our breakfast, we get our luncheon, all under it? Think about it. So, Dane, that's on you, man.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you, President. So, my name is Dane Simpson. This is Chris Kime. We're with Laborers Local 751. I'm with our Laborers District Council covering North Central Illinois. I see a lot of friendly faces from all over the state here, and I wanted to talk about the laborers and what we have going on today. When you come to Laborers Local 751 here in Kankakee, you see our union crest, and on that union crest it has three words: strength, honor, and justice. I think those are three words I think that goes hand in hand with the philosophy of NAACP. And today we want to present a check to the NAACP of Kankakee to show our support for everything day in and day out that you do. We see you represent our communities. We want you to know that when you all have a fight, we have a fight. And when we have a fight, we want you to have a fight too. So with that, our 400 members here in Kankakee County, Iroquois and Fort County, 1 penny out of every hours that those men and women work go to our charitable donation fund. And with that, we decided to give that money to this organization. So. Thank you so much, President. It's an honor.